This is Oilersnation Radio, your one-stop shop for everything Oilers. 1 hour of straight hockey talk with Bagged Milk, Tyler, Liam, Rick, and Dan starts now.
Hey, good news. The graphs are moving this time.
Is it working?
Take two.
We
only made it like
Radio.
6 minutes in, though, to be fair. So
Yeah, we didn't really get started. Anyway,
I feel like Rick was just about to take off.
getting well, that's why it's good that we cut him off before he really got going, you know?
Just took off his shirt.
So we'll do like a quick version of the first few minutes and we'll tee up Rick. We're all very disappointed the Oilers lost. The Panthers are being whiny babies as they win.
If you haven't seen, you can find it very easily. They're out celebrating as you would, with "fuck McDavid" chants.
I get the celebrations, okay? Whatever we be celebrating to right now, okay? But I promise you, very, very little of anybody from their team would ever be mentioned. You might hear it in a conversation here or there. You're not going to hear it from a player in front of a microphone. They're not going to do that. Maybe one or two guys would, but you're not going to get it out of your captain. You're not going to get it out of your nucleus. So the kids were showing me, the kids outside here, they were showing me the video from a nightclub.
This is where I said Liam's almost 30.
Yeah.
And we correctly pointed out those are your coworkers. There is not just a gaggle of children at our office.
Yeah,
fair enough. True. Yes, true. But there's a video out there of them in a nightclub, and it's not just the crowd, like not just the crowd there going "fuck McDavid." As far as I understand, players are too.
There was but I saw a video of some blonde-haired gentleman standing up on the stage, and then Matthew Tkachuk took the mic from him and yelled "fuck McDavid" into the microphone. Edgy Lord that he is.
I can't even bring myself to click play on those clips.
I haven't opened it yet.
It auto plays on Instagram for me. And Nick Alberga, shout out Nick Alberga from Leafs Nation, who keeps sending me videos of them dancing to Pink Pony Club too.
Do you dance to them getting kicked out of the playoffs? Do they dance out of the fact they haven't done anything in the playoffs since 1967? Why would anybody from that organization have anything to say about a team that came in second place?
So, and like our friends at Barn Burner, who have been very entertaining through this whole run, but like Liam pointed out, they have a 49-minute clip on their YouTube. That's how long their Oilers segment was the other day. I couldn't be bothered. There's so many fans of other teams who are like laughing at the loss, and like taking so much joy in it. You'd think their team won the cup, and I'm like, if the Flames were in the Cup final, I don't know how much of it I would watch.
I wouldn't. Went through. You guys were all very young, not you. In 2004, we went through this. In 2004, we went through this. Calgary was in the Stanley Cup Final.
I was a baby.
It sucked. We were 2 years away from doing our run yet. So the only thing we had ever done since we won the Cup 14 years before that was make the second round in 98. And then it was a first round kick out in 97 and then one in like 2000 or 2001 or something like that. I just didn't want to watch. I didn't take any joy.
And I certainly wouldn't be like, again, if the Flames lost to the Lightning this year in the Cup final, I would not be like sharing all the Lightning celebration videos, being like, aha, got him.
The other interesting angle about that too is they're like openly cheering for Matthew Tkachuk, who set their franchise back years.
Yes, he turned his back on you.
That one's still weird to me. Like that was something that we talked about last year, even where they were. And again, like I don't want to be like too negative. Yes, like they're sitting in the cock chair and they're watching their team that they got.
That's how they get enjoyment.
That Matthew literally said, "I don't want to be a part of this. I want out." Went to Florida and Johnny won championships.
Like they had the exodus, and it's just kind of like.
And
now they're just super pumped to watch Matthew Tkachuk and Sam Bennett win in Florida.
Did those guys not put on LA Kings jerseys?
Yes.
For their show.
Yep.
You said, fuck my team, because we're not good enough to be in this position, that I hate this team so much, I'll put on another team's jersey. There's not a team in this world that would make me put on a different team's jersey.
But I think, well, I agree with that. I think there's also the angle, too, that nobody here thinks about the Flames at all.
No.
Do you know what's funny is they addressed that on their show, Barn Burner, and Pinder was like, "No, I don't think they think of us ever.
No, we don't.
Why should they? And we shouldn't. Like they're
below us.
Irrelevant.
They are below us."
I will say that in 2011, to go against what you're saying, Rick, in 2011, I lived in Halifax, I know, but I worked with a Canucks fan who was insufferable. I worked with another Canucks fan who was insufferable. And so I watched every single game of the 2011 Stanley Cup Finals with I won't say that I was watching it with joy in my eyes when they lost, but I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy every single loss.
I agree with you, and I have done the exact same thing, but these gentlemen are going so much further, embarrassingly further.
Yep.
Like, are you that not confident in your own team that you need to sit here and take joy out of this? Like, is your team so shitty that the only time you get joy is when do we own that much real estate inside your brain that's embarrassing?
I think it's a credit to us. And so I'll give shout out to Johnny Morash and Jamie Kelly, who I used to work with, and they made me hate the Canucks. I think it's a credit to Oiler fans that we're just a little bit like they don't want it. They want to be us. They wish they were us.
Like, I gave a golf clap after 04 and 11. And that's literally all I did, because I don't want to cheer. I'm not there to cheer for Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I'm not there to cheer for Boston. I'm there to cheer against Calgary. I'm there to cheer against Vancouver. Once the 60 minutes is up and they lost, I was good.
My boy Johnny Morash my chest was down.
Lighter.
He went down for Game 7 to see it in Boston, and there's a CBC cut to him after Boston went up 4-0 with his head in his hands, and we took that photo and we put it everywhere around the office the day after they were.
And seeing this more and more, especially those players, it infuriates me to the point of you need to start punching people in the mouth. Like, there's people live too much knowing they can't get hit.
I think
and I'm not talking beat them up, but like a punch to the mouth that hurts for a bit.
I think
that's how you learn.
It's a good fire up for the boys, hopefully, that they can.
But I want them not to just destroy them on the ice now, like 11-0, and we know they won't do that. They'll get to 4, and then they'll start playing with Connor will put a right-handed stick in his hand because it's too easy to go around these guys. But I want, and I don't know if it was on this one or last one, if I wasn't even being taped at the time, but I want Steve McIntyre, I want George LaRocque, I want Mark Pfister. I want guys who are going to go out there and absolutely beat the piss out of these little kids. Like, I can't stand Tkachuk. I don't mind him as a player, but like, he just won't back it up. And it's time to just go out there and force him to do it. And now that the Oilers are watching this and knowing this, like I said, and again, I don't know if this is the first recording, the last recording, or not recorded, but I know full well that if we just rolled over the roster after the Vegas series that we lost, that there were matchups already set for the first game. Dan, you would have actually liked that game because you had a lot of work to do, I think.
Yes.
For the Vegas game?
For the very first Vegas game after they knocked us out of the playoffs. So the next season, I know for a fact that there were matchups already made.
Like who?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but
Yes, you can.
I do think
you
it was.
Can't just say that.
No.
I don't know who was gonna fight.
It was, I believe, Kleem and White Cloud were definitely in it.
Interesting.
Nurse had one and Kane had one.
With who?
That I don't really remember. I think it might have been Pietrangelo, but I don't remember. And to be fair, it's Vegas. I don't remember who the hell is on the team anymore. They don't matter.
Anyway.
Nothing from Janmark, though, eh?
Did you guys like the Brad Marchand?
No, that's not his go-to. He's a more
off the cuff.
Yeah,
I'll get to that. Yeah. I want to get into the regularly scheduled programming.
It's not just me yelling.
Well, we'll get more of that. Don't worry about it. I'm giving you opportunities, plenty today. Give a shout out to our friends at Odd Company, proud partner of the Nation Network with Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Perfect for the next big game, next go-to lager, or get you through the summer. Head on down to either Odd Company location here in the city, liquorconnect.com, search it up, find a liquor store near you that sells it. If they don't, ask them why not. The delicious debate for you guys today is courtesy of me. Thank you. Tyler, I'm going to start with you. Simple. Where do the Oilers need to go from here?
I'm writing something about this for the site, and I'm hoping it's either done this weekend or early next week, but they're at an interesting crossroads here where they're going to be able to get Connor McDavid to commit. I believe that. I know it's a whole different conversation, so we won't go there.
Don't worry, we're going to get there.
Yeah. You're going to have Connor and Leon for the next 8-9 seasons here.
At least.
Yeah. You need to prove to them that you want to continue winning, and you're every year after year saying we are taking runs at the Stanley Cup. At the same time, you need to keep just a little bit of your vision at how are we going to keep this thing rolling for 8 years. It's very hard to be a legit Stanley Cup contender for 3 or 4 straight seasons, never mind 8 or 9 straight seasons. So Stan Bowman's going to be at a crossroads where Can you inject youth into this lineup while still maximizing your competitive abilities, or at least getting close to it? Are there more McLeod for Savoy trades? And not in the sense that we're trading off active guys for prospects. Like, it won't be that much of a replication of that. But, like, you know, we talked today. Do you trade Victor Arvidsson and maybe an asset for Matthias Michelli, a 24-year-old, or like someone of that ilk? Can you trade some veterans, get some youth in the lineup, add more Podkolzins and add more Wallmans and Frederics, guys who are in their mid-20s who you're like, hey, they can help us now, and we know they can help us for 7 more years. Like, that's where they need to go from here, is like staying competitive, trying to win the Stanley Cup next year. They need a whole bunch of stuff, but the organizational philosophy, I think, has to shift a little bit from like firsts for Adam Henrique and trading for rental Nick Bukestad to more along the lines of Frederic, Wallman, guys who you are getting who can help you for 4 or 5 seasons and grow with this group a little bit.
Yep. Dan, what do you got? Where do we go from here?
Oh, man. I like that answer from Tyler, naturally, but I think that I would go, like, I think for me, and I've been just kind of stuck in the same message for the last at least 3 seasons, that this team needs to look at defense. I think that we just have to look at our goaltending, honestly, and throughout this entire offseason, try to figure out what that means, whether it is Stuart Skinner's net from now on in. We can't, but I just truly believe that we can't go through the rigmarole that we did with especially in the Stanley Cup Finals, between dropping or pulling Skinner from a game and then starting him the next game, and then we got Pickard starting the next game after that, and then you got Skinner back in the net. We have to solidify that position. It can't be a question mark for us anymore. And I was a firm believer that this team playing with their nose down towards the offensive zone was going to make it so that you didn't matter who you had in the net. I don't believe that anymore.
Rick, where do we go from here?
I don't like. I know, Tyler, you said there's a lot of changes. You made it like an adjective. I don't think there's a lot, but there's definitely some that are going to be important ones.
Bowman today in his presser said, we're not talking about 9 new guys.
No,
but there are going to be new guys.
Yeah, and there are guys that like Henrique, Arvidsson. I'm probably looking at getting rid of both those guys. Kane. Yeah, I don't want to pay to get rid of them though.
They won't.
So if I have to roll out in the last year with him, I'm okay with that. But yeah, the money I'd like to get away from. And then, yeah, you're right. This is why last year's not matching like Holloway and Broberg kind of annoys me. Broberg, fine. We've kind of replaced him anyways. But like having a Holloway on this team right now would be huge.
Yep.
And what's the cost to get him? Probably too much.
Yeah.
Probably, is it?
To get him now, you mean?
Yeah. Like, is he an RFA? He's got to go through, he's got to get another contract done. Like, is there any way of wrestling a guy like him out?
Probably
Dylan
not.
Holloway?
That's the guy.
Oh, yeah, I don't
No.
think so.
St. Louis won't give him due back.
I didn't think so, but I know he has to go through a contract.
But you just have to find the next one. Like,
you need to go find like 2 or 3 of those forwards.
Yeah.
I'm probably fine rolling my defenseman back. I depending on what Ekholm's injury is,
We never really got clarity on it.
I may look at moving on from a guy like Kulak, only because he might get something out of him. You've got Nurse, you've got Wallman, you got Ekholm down the left side. We know that he's not the right side for Kulak. Really wasn't it for him. So I don't see him beating those 3, and I'm probably fine rolling Bouchard, Stetcher, and Emberson as my 3 rights to start the year. I think by the deadline, you're going to be looking to bring in, whether it be and don't hit me for this, but an Ekblad type player. You know just what I mean? Like the guy who's going to take you, that veteran guy who's going to take you into the playoffs. But I think we need youth, we need hunger and excitement to get through the boring part of the season that our best players don't want to deal with. Like, you know what I mean? Like they kind of got bored in the beginning of the year.
I think too, when you look at like you were saying about the blue line, like more towards the deadline, Florida had Uvis Beliskin, whatever his name is.
Belinskis.
Played like 60 plus games for them.
Classic Uvis.
And then they just went out and got
Skis.
Seth Jones. And I know circumstances played into that and it worked, but like they weren't perfect in July. They were just really good after the deadline. And I think that's something you always have to look at too, is like you don't need to blow your load next weekend.
And I don't think we need to bring in those.
Yeah.
But you could if you wanted to.
You could. Hey, that's up to you. It's a
Why can't
personal
the
choice.
Oilers go multiple rounds?
I think that's a really good point, though, Liam.
Gatorade, the sandwich.
And I think that Florida did a really good thing. And I know that the narrative has been that Florida's additions were better than Edmonton's additions, and therefore the Stars only had to be as good as our Stars kind of formula. But I really think that like Florida brought in guys like a Brad Marchand that were just hungry, and he wanted to be a part of that Florida Panthers team. Yes, a lot of people wanted to be a part of the Edmonton Oilers team in this past summer.
Not Brad Marchand,
and we got them. And we got them. We added them. Victor Arvidsson, Jeff Skinner. We added them all with no movement clauses on top of it. So like, yeah, I don't know. Like I'm really frustrated with the.
But it's because their players went out and did the uncomfortable things. Their players, when our forwards in that last game, when our forwards actually hit the defenseman, when our forwards actually played aggressive in their end, we turned the puck over. We created opportunities. Not enough, but we do it for a shift.
Yes.
And the next shift we wouldn't do it.
But they
and
were
the next
doing
shift
it nonstop.
But they kept fucking doing it. They did the things that are uncomfortable to do. They did the things that they had to do in order to win. And unfortunately, we didn't do it.
Sam
Like
Reinhart
we never got to
outplayed
the
us.
middle of the ice in their end. I don't think ever in that whole fucking last two games.
Nobody in front of the net.
And then they knew exactly what to do against
the
us.
puck in that last game
And
so
they-
hard.
I know, and they still.
And we were,
Yeah, we can't
and I
throw
will
it.
say this too: we had a bunch of bad bounces where that puck just kind of like bounced a quarter of inch out of our way, then a quarter of it into our way,
I'd
and
say-
they had a couple of those bounces bounce quarter of an inch into their way as opposed out.
Yeah, and you fight and deserve your own bounces, but
100%.
I'd say especially in Game 5,
Yes.
that game could have turned. Yep, totally. But if I think about that, I get upset. So I just can't.
So do you agree with Connor's assessment that this one's more annoying?
Angry, yes.
or
I'm angry. I'm
than
pissed off.
sad last year?
Yeah, because last year it was like, oh my God, like we got all the way to Game 7. We'd made this crazy
0-3
comeback.
to it.
And like we
were 2-2.
Lost by 1.
We were
And
2-2.
This year it's like, motherfuckers, you were up 1-0, and then you did that in Games 5 and 6. Like,
And
what
all
the
we
fuck?
begged for the entire summer was Game 7 at home.
Yeah.
All we begged for.
And they no-showed. Yeah.
Fuck.
We didn't even get that.
It's frustrating.
Yep. Liam, where do we go from here?
Well, I don't like. They're obviously not a million miles away. There seems to be this big narrative that the Oilers will just never get it done. I just don't understand it. Like, there was a lot of talk yesterday of like, can the Oilers win with Evan Bouchard? It's like,
That's stupid.
how are we here?
That's
He was the
stupid.
best defenseman in the playoffs for 3 rounds.
Feel free to go watch a clip from real life where Tyler and Jay yelled about this while I sat in the
Also-
corner and chuckled.
Also, he was on the team last year when we got to Game 7,
Yeah,
and so were both goalies.
he
He
came up
was
in
their
like,
best defenseman the whole playoffs this year. And
until Ekholm, his savior, came back and he fell apart
people are acting like they got swept by Florida or like
in round 1.
yeah, and it's like, well, you can't win with this guy, you can't win with this guy. It's like, no, you can win with all of these guys. Like
Yeah.
they almost did win with all of these guys. If they scored an OT winner in Game 2, they're probably Cup champs.
I would ask you what Jay said, but I already know, so we can just move on from
Was
that.
Jay against Bouchard again?
He,
course.
he came into our ONE studio
Like,
the second we got in after they were eliminated.
I thought this was the other week when he's like, I'd sign him for $9.5 million.
Right there.
He literally said that.
Yeah. No, I brought it up on one of the shows.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, go on.
He came in the day after they were eliminated, and he's like, is that your goalie, Bouchard? And he basically was like,
Well, I think those are two completely separate conversations.
So hold
are,
on.
yeah.
Is he blaming the first goal on Bouchard?
Yes.
So the
He
pass
said he
that
could have made
Not
a play.
the,
the flutter
knee-high
pass
pass.
that got put into his knees.
Yeah. He said he should
Ekholm
have
was
made a play.
awful in the last 3
was-
games.
Yeah. He was terrible.
That was our
Last 4
top
games.
pairing, right? That was our top pairing that we played.
Like
the
that
most,
that pass,
and it got tanked.
that was a grenade he threw at Bouchard.
like, were the Oilers further away this year than last year? Yes. How much of that is 16 goal Zach Hyman from last playoffs not being in the lineup?
Yeah.
Matthias Ekholm going from being your best defenseman to a negative.
Placeholder.
I would say that worst. I
Yeah,
honestly
probably.
would.
So, like, again, those two massive swings. Yeah, actually, you know what? Maybe the Oilers on paper this year were closer to the Florida Panthers than, like, the Game 7 team that lost. But, like, when Nuge breaks his hand and Hyman's not playing and Ekholm's is negative, and it's just like, okay, obviously you lost in 6.
Our best player in Game 6 was Jeff Skinner.
Yes.
Yes.
Sadly.
Wasn't even close.
Which will be an interesting conversation. I ultimately don't think he would sign here, but he
It
showed
depends
up
on
in those final 3 games.
It depends on how the coaching staff dealt with him over the regular season.
And that's the thing. Like, I wonder if they can view it as like, okay, we just went through a full year with this guy, and this is obviously down to him as well as a UFA, of like teaching him what we want. I always felt when he was in the lineup, he was somewhat impactful. You noticed him regularly,
and he was doing the things that they ask him to do when he doesn't have the puck, right? Like
I just wonder if they go to him and be like, look at what Connor Brown did. Different situation because Brown just didn't score goals. But like, he had a bad first season. He eventually figured it out and was really good this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If they can be like, look, you're going to have no value. We have a really good chance of getting to the final again. Do you want to come back and play a middle 6 role? We'll see. I don't think that will happen, but I would like it to happen. As for what I think will happen, I think they need to get more players who can score goals consistently. Because if guys like Nuge go down again, or someone goes down in the playoffs, right? The year before it was Draisaitl and Kane, both were hurt. This year it was Nuge. It's like, and Hyman's out. It's like, okay, if you keep losing 2 sticks every single year, hopefully that's not a trend, then you're just asking a lot from guys like Skinner and Podkolzin and Arvidsson, Kapanen to come in and play roles that are just not good enough to necessarily play consistently.
And for me, like when I think of what's coming next, I hope part of the plan is, and I know it's difficult with the salary cap situation, et cetera. There's, extensions coming. There's Leon's new contract starts next year, all that stuff. I would love them to spend the money they have on more high-end players rather than a volume of mid-level players.
I think we already have a volume of mid-level forwards.
That's what I mean. Like, we need the impact guys.
With all the Euros we signed?
I don't think they're even mid.
We don't know yet, but, it is.
I know what you mean. But
yeah. But we have the bottom level guy. Like, we should be able to put together 6 forwards out of.
We committed $7.5 million to Skinner and Arvidsson, and there were points in the playoffs where they were both in the press box. Because Bowman, partially because they weren't good enough, but also Bowman went and found Kapanen on waivers, Podkolzin for a 4th. Corey Perry came back. Like, my take, I had this the morning after on our show when they got eliminated, was how many times have we seen this shit blow up in our face? The Connor Brown deal the first year blew up in our face. Enough screwing around with the $3 to $4 million guys. Sign players who are $1.5 million or $8 million. Like, we need an impact player. Look at Florida. Do they fuck around with $3 million players? No. They have Verhaeghe, 7, Reinhart, 8, Bennett, Marchand. They go and get truly impact guys, and if it's not there, they just go, we'll get that guy.
They're $3 million
bunch of guys
players,
we never heard of.
and they're like 8th and 9th best forwards.
Yeah.
I think like Evan Rodriguez and Lister Ryan both make $3 million, but they're not relied upon to like go out there and make impact offensive plays.
True.
But they make impacts.
But they make impact
And our
plays.
guys, unfortunately, we're not.
And they don't demand that of their 4th line. Their 4th line is scrubs, and they outplayed us the entire series.
They 4th line makes no sense to me at all.
AJ Greer and Gadjevich are absolute monsters, just meatheads, and they were dominating this cycle against the Oilers in the offensive zone.
So that just
Because
touches
they
on,
know
like,
how
what
to
I
play
mean,
us.
like-
They play physical
They play
against
their
our
role,
D.
yes.
You either fire the puck in around the boards, so it goes all the way around, and our defenseman is stuck coming in against the boards, trying to knock down a puck, and then right away that gives your forecheckers a good 2 seconds to get back in the zone. Like, you don't got to rush anymore. By the time he knocks it down, you've got 2 guys there, or they let it keep going and you keep a guy there.
But that's ultimately like what I mean. Like, to Tyler's point, we had $7.5 million sitting in the press box. I would have fucking loved to see what a $6 million and $7 million forward would have done actually on the ice.
Yeah, totally. And the thing is too, like,
let's go chase some whales.
But and that's exactly what I mean. Like, did the Oilers lose because their depth was bad? Like, yes, but I think people view that as like, oh, you need better $3 and $4 million players.
This is not our depth issue we had a couple years ago.
They lost. Like, the Oilers need to get a whale. You need a difference maker. You need someone who goes out onto the ice and does what a Bennett or a Marchand do, where they'll get an opportunity and they'll change the game for you. The Oilers don't have enough of that, and like, you can keep beating your head against the wall and go out there this summer and like, people are like, go sign Ryan Donato, and like, I don't hate Ryan Donato. I know you talked to him, so I don't mean this to be a shot, but like,
no, I don't think they should have signed
He's
him.
attacking you.
so like,
Deadline, though, you get those guys at the deadline.
Yes.
get those guys at the deadline. Like, don't go into free agency this year and be like, okay, we got Arvidsson out of the books. Let's go sign a $4 million player again. Like, no. Get Arvidsson and Kane off the books so you have Savoy and an $8 million guy.
Cheap youth and get your big guy at the deadline.
They can't look at Pius Suda, for example. That guy scored 30 goals last season. surely he'll do it again. Here's $5 million. Because I know you don't like Nick Ehlers. Maybe isn't a great example, but he's a top player on the market. You know he can score goals in the NHL.
Nick Ehlers, I would not be opposed to getting.
I would love Nick Ehlers.
But like that,
he brings some of that.
He's a star player.
No,
you know what I mean?
In Winnipeg. Yeah. But he has a bit of that snarl to him too.
Yeah, I would love Nick Ehlers.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Apparently, he wants to go somewhere where there's a little less noise, though. So
less noise
here, right?
Less noise in Winnipeg.
Won't get as much noise because Connor and Leon will take all the noise. It's fine.
That's
Decent
the
point,
thing.
actually.
Like, how many times did we hear Victor? I know he didn't play well, but I don't even know what that guy sounds like. Victor Arvidsson. You know what I mean? Like you just don't hear from those guys because you hear from Nuge, Hyman, Nurse, Bouchard, the goalie, McDavid, Draisaitl.
No one's asking.
And Perry. Okay, so you're the 10th guy in line to get an interview request. It's like, come on. Mm-hmm. There's not noise for you. There is noise for those guys.
If you're listening to this, I want to hear from you. Hit us up on socials. Where do the Oilers go from here? I'd like to know. I'd like to know what your thoughts are. Everybody's got a bunch of different ideas. Today in his presser again, Stan Bowman said he's going to be working on the goaltending and the forwards.
That's fine. Like I said, I think I'm fine running our 6 defensemen back.
He also said kind of like they're all signed.
Yeah.
Like he said they played well and they're all signed. Like we're not really going to look at anything. And plus they have 8. I guess Klimberg's gone, so they would have 7 defensemen signed for next season already.
Yeah. So what they've got currently is Nurse is signed. By the way, Nurse is a full no move clause.
Yep. But what if you just tell him to waive it?
Oh,
Maybe Columbus will want
Why don't we not unpeel the layers of the onion where he's incredibly close to our captain and wanting to ship him out as we're trying to figure out one of the biggest
the
extensions.
amount of people that sit there and say,
franchise
that was on
history.
Nurse, that was on Nurse, that was on Nurse. Half the time it's not actually on Nurse.
He's not. He wasn't. I don't think he was terrible in the playoffs. But you take away the price tag, which you can't always do.
No.
He played fine, but then you have to add the price tag and be like, oh, you pay $9 million.
But then look, then put him and Wallman together and say between them they make 12.5 for 13, and I think you're fine.
And with Nurse, I've seen people like retain whatever. Okay, if you retain 50% of Darnell
That's so
Nurse,
dumb. No,
you then
that's
have to go find a $4.5 million replacement for him going forward for the next 4 years. You know what? Ivan Provorov's probably getting $7 million this summer. Aaron Ekblad's probably getting 8.
Yeah.
Gavrikov's getting 7.5, 8. We're going to get to a point in 2 years where every team will have a defenseman on their second pair making $9 million. And does Darnell need to be better? Yes.
So do a lot.
Are you a better team retaining half and dumping him for nothing? No.
To me, the bigger question on D. Well, let's move on. Let's give a shout out to our friends at Oodle Noodle. Going into Oodle Noodle. June, you got 10 more days in June. Kung Pao, 10% of the proceeds from the Kung Pao at Oodle Noodle will be donated to Sports Central. Let's get more kids out there playing sports. It's a great partnership. It's a great meal. Get on into Oodle Noodle. The thing that I've got...
I would just add to that. Let's buy him some goalie gear.
Totally.
Because we'll talk about the goalies. There's not a lot out there. Let's get them going a bit.
Smart.
We
This
will
age.
get there.
That's smart.
The other thing that, just on the defense, a big question I have is what is going on with Ekholm? Because he has 1 year left at $6 million. That's a big question mark for me. He was not good in the playoffs. He looked nowhere near our Viking daddy.
But it's got to be his injury, right? Your play doesn't
Has
just
to be.
fall off like that without an injury.
Though,
The dude couldn't turn.
He couldn't turn, and
The way he
his
got cut,
positioning
the
was
way they went from the outside to inside on him, Brad Marchand did it, I think, twice. The one off the face-off.
the Reinhardt goal again. That first one in Game 6, that was terrible positioning by Ekholm.
It's but but he's not mobile. He's not agile. He can't move. Reinhardt took him from the outside to the inside, and Ekholm had nothing in terms of getting to the inside. There's an injury there. He can normally do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan. Did they say anything about that in the press conference?
Nothing.
No, there was no injury updates at all, right?
The only update was that McDavid
hand.
said Nuge had a broken hand.
Yeah, which you kind of slipped up on saying that.
Which was kind of amazing because,
They don't
20
wanna say
points
that
in
stuff.
22 games.
And he scored.
And he scored a beauty in Game 4.
He's fully
Yeah.
casted up now. So
How do you know?
I was told by people that went to the football game yesterday who
Yes.
then saw him at the bar afterwards.
Yeah,
I
so
had nothing to do with
Two
that.
things I heard during the game, and can anybody else corroborate this for me?
The Elks game or the Oilers game?
The Oilers game.
Oh.
Ekholm,
Elks him out.
possibly LTIR next year.
I said that. That
No,
was
that was-
reported
that
from
was our
me.
show.
Okay.
That was the show.
And then the second thing is that Hyman might be worse off than we've
But he already got his surgery.
No, he's got a dislocated wrist. I think that's relatively
I think
simple.
he's in a bad spot.
They just don't know how long it's
I
going
think
to
his
take.
ligaments are pretty damaged. Like you're not really supposed to. You're not supposed to dislocate anything, but I think they say like dislocating your wrist and ankle are kind of like the worst places to go because there's so much. There's a lot going on there.
It's his right hand, correct?
Yeah, but
so
he's
it's his
a lefty.
bottom.
Yeah.
It's the bottom hand. You can tape the F out of that.
I want to know, like, what were they giving Nuge? And who thought he should play center with a broken hand?
Both good questions.
You wouldn't like. It's funny in the playoffs, isn't it? We talk about it with Bouchard, but like people have very short memories.
Yeah.
Of like Nugent-Hopkins was the Oilers' best forward in the Dallas series.
So good.
Unbelievable series, and the Oilers dominated them because of how great he was. And on the live show on Wednesday, people were like, "You got to try and move him." It's like, guys,
Not so bad.
He
Even
makes
against-
$5 million.
Yeah, stop that.
The
He was a
1v
point per game player in the playoffs. What do you want?
That's insane. Stop that.
And like, is he again like a true star driver? No, but like even in the Cup final with a broken hand, the 1v5 shift he'd had on the Wallman setup,
Unbelievable.
and then the big goal earlier in
Yeah.
that game, like he still had 2 great moments and 8 minutes for you with a broken hand. And you're right, he still showed he can be a very impactful player in a series.
Here's what I'll say about Nuge. I think he should be moved down the lineup next season based off if you can go out and get a better top 6 winger. So then you look at the situation.
Where are you playing him? Are you playing him third line?
I'm looking at like middle 6.
So middle six.
I would hope by the deadline that you can get Nuge down to your third line.
two side, a number 2 winger or a number 3 center?
I'm just hypothetically saying Frederic or Henrico plays our third line center. In my hypothetical world. If you're able to move Nuge down the lineup, imagine how good he can be for you. Well, that's kind of the idea of these Hyman and Nuge contracts as they age. They're
can
still going to be like
shuffle
so
them down a
valuable.
bit, yeah.
Those guys are going to be such good players that like you can just have a third line of those 2 guys and now.
Well,
Frederic
and just
for a
again,
million
going back
years.
to Florida, look how effective
Exactly.
Brad Marchand was on their third line.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
frustrating.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Everybody's talking about it. Connor McDavid's comments on his contract extension. To me, it was the exact same thing Leon said a year ago. So I'm going to do what's best for my fan. It's straight out of the playbook for a top-end UFA is how I looked at it.
How they're scripted to speak. They
I
don't
also
tell him anything, but give him something.
I also think that if I'm being pessimistic, it's a message to management being like, hey, we got some things to fix.
Yeah.
And Stan Bowman even said today, they're going to talk to Connor. He's earned the right to offer his opinion. I just think one line where people go, with that said, really, really doing some lifting on that.
I think so too. The one thing I would have liked to him to say more, and Leon did say this a little bit more in his presser last season, is just like, I love being in Edmonton. And I know McDavid said that a ton during the season. Like he had that moment, he was in the season, he was on the ice post-game interview, and he said, like, I want to finish my career, or whatever he said, something like that, right?
Something along those lines.
That would have helped me be a bit more encouraging. I 100% believe he's signing here. But yeah, like the grasping at straws. Like he also said a ton of stuff that like would make you believe that he was going to stay here. Being
Where
like,
the core has been building to this moment.
Yeah.
There's unfinished business. Ignore that
He
stuff.
literally said if they can just show me the plan, the winning plan, is like, I have no problem with signing. Okay, great.
I like this one from Sam McKee of Fan 590 in Toronto. He said, quote, that being said, 3 words that could haunt Oilers fans for a long time.
Worry about your own
didn't even
backyard,
know he said
Sam.
that in the press
I know.
conference.
Greg Wyshynski said, with that being said, heard round the world.
That dude has hated the Oilers for
I know.
years and years. No, all he did was ever talk about how many first-round picks we have. And then Jersey, his little team, had the same amount.
My only kind of grasping the pessimism of that statement, could you see a world where Connor signs only for 5 years?
Yes. And I also think that's fine.
I also think that's fine too.
That was my only kind of, like, previous to that statement, I thought 8 years, no problem, 7 years maybe just to stay lined with Leon. But after I heard that, maybe 5.
Tyler, I was watching Daily Flow live today. What Frank Saravalli said.
Thank you.
You are.
No, you
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you said you were watching.
No, he was on.
I thought you said like you were watching it.
I did watch.
What
did Frank Saravalli say?
He said he isn't putting a ton of stock into the idea of a 3 to 5 year deal. He is 99% confident Connor McDavid signs an 8-year deal at some point this summer. And listen, from the perspective of like, oh, he's gonna if I was putting myself in the position of making the whole like, well, he'll sign a 4-year deal, so in 4 years, if the Oilers aren't doing enough, he'll ask out. Or he has the option to get out. No, he'll just sign an 8-year deal, quiet all of the rumors, not have any rumblings following him. And if he's unhappy in 4 years, he goes, hey, Stan, it's Connor. I'm out. And they trade him to wherever he wants to go.
You can't trade a guy mid-contract. That doesn't happen.
Not allowed.
Hey,
But like, you know what I mean?
Look at this.
Why? What do we know about Connor McDavid? He hates noise. He hates being the focal point. He hates doing media. Why would he go into a contract year or sign a 2-year deal where in every market he goes to, every beat reporter on the road is like, so you got a big decision looming. Like, oh, every losing streak would be like, oh, Connor McDavid might get it. Oh, did he got to trade him? Why would he sign up for that?
It's a great question.
He won't.
There you go.
It's not likely, but
Well, it's also interesting that there's a lot of noise on social.
Too much noise.
My recommendation is delete it off your phone for a minute. The other thing, too, is every insider is just saying he's going back to Edmonton.
Yes.
And then it's just Leafs fans being like, oh, it cooked.
And
Well, that's the funniest
those
part
loser
about it.
fans 3 hours south of here.
That's also the funniest part about the Leafs fans, where, like Connor said, the most important thing to me is winning. They haven't got past the second round since the fucking internet's invented.
I know. It's like
They've never won a game in the third round, period.
Connor's priority is winning. Okay. He's on a team that went to a back-to-back cup finals.
So that rules out the
Outside the
Leafs.
Yeah.
I know there was a rumor yesterday from the Chicklets guys talking about Tampa Bay. So one thing that seems to get lost in all of this, if somehow Connor McDavid was like, I'm not signing here, please trade me for my final year so I can negotiate with my new team. If that was to happen, the amount of assets the others would get back would make that other team so much worse, even if it was McDavid going there.
Can you imagine
it wouldn't even be worth it for them?
If McDavid went to the Oilers and said, you have to trade, like, I hate that we're even doing this. But it's funny to do the thought process. If he was like, you're trading me to either the Leafs or the Lightning, 2 division rivals, and Stan Bowman sat Julian Breezeball, Brad Living down and was like, highest bidder gets him. Loser, get ready to play him 8 times next year. Holy shit. Right? Like, those teams would deplete themselves trying to figure it out.
I'm
it's
just
just
waiting
not-
for the extension day. It's not happening on July 1st, so don't expect it on July 1st. Leon signed September 3rd.
I've been trying to do a bit of research here on the fly.
Go ahead. What are you looking up over there?
Well, I'm trying to find out exactly when like superstar players sign their contracts. So I've got a few players. Obviously, like you said, Leon is September 3rd.
When he got back to start late camp and such.
Yeah. Drew Doughty, when he signed his second contract, he actually did sign on July 1st, 2018, but the Kings would have just won a cup. 2017 they last win the last cup?
Oh, I
no,
thought
it was
20.
Pittsburgh area. Very close, whatever it
No
was.
idea.
Elias Pettersson, at the time,
I thought we said Stars.
Rick, calm down.
he signed his second deal on March 2nd. Nathan McKinnon was September 20th. Connor Hellebuck, October 9th. Igor Shesterkin, December 6th. Sidney Crosby signed his deals in mid-September. Like, these guys just, there's no need to panic. Like, everyone has this July 1st label. I don't get it. Like,
These guys need to get away.
Yeah,
Put their
let
feet
them
up.
go to
Put your
relax.
feet in the sand.
Yeah, go
Try and
relax.
get this garbage out of your head right now.
And also, there's the other angle, too. Like, you're asking him this question 48 hours after losing in the Stanley Cup Final. You think he's not still mad 48 hours later?
I am. It would not be
course.
fun to interview me right now, let alone an actual player involved in the game.
We pretty much are interviewing
Yeah, I
you.
know.
Of course.
I'm having fun.
Anyway. What do you think, Tyler?
Cathartic.
8x17. Or there's a shitload of deferred money.
Now, I know this is not going to happen because I know the NHLPA would actually be fucking irate if it happened. But what if he said, you know what? Sid's won before. What's Sid? Oh, Sid always signs for his number. What if I just go to 9-7? Go to 9-7.
Rick.
I know it's not happening, but I'm telling you. Let's go to 9-7. I want to win. The money's not an issue for me anymore. Like I can make money outside the game. That's cool. 9-7 times 8. Now take the rest of the money. use it properly, and let's fucking win.
You know who hates the 8-7 thing? Sid's agent.
And the NHLPA.
Never gets enough money.
Dude, the PA's got to hate that.
Sid, like, no more 8-7. He's like, I really love 8-7.
Do you think like when Tim Hortons is like, all right, we're going to give you $1 million fee for this commercial? Sid goes,
no.
870,000, please.
Yes.
He probably, like, honestly, he might.
The Pittsburgh's calling up Tim Hortons going, hey, here's an extra $1 million in your bank account somehow. Just, hire this guy for a commercial.
8-7. 870. That's it.
I am intrigued if Connor does the deferred money thing.
It would be interesting, but like, I also wonder how much the PA would factor into that on a deal that big.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know if they have much to say. I mean, there's a couple guys with a little bit of deferred money in hockey. Obviously, you look at Shohei, and that's insane. But I mean, it's got to also leave you a bit of a blueprint on how to get it done.
Is anybody concerned about Connor?
No. I'm upset about his feelings.
I'm sad about his feelings. I don't like it.
But then you see these guys are laughing already again. It's if they can be fine, I guess I have to be fine.
The other contract we got to talk about. Rumors swirling. 8-year extension. Trent Frederic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This
How
goes,
old is he right now?
27.
What did I just say?
27 in February.
Quit fucking around with $3 to $4 million players, either signed impact stars or cheap guys. Well, it doesn't exactly line up with that. I don't hate the deal, though, but it just doesn't line up with the philosophy I was just talking about.
I understand it from Oilers fans' standpoint that don't like it. But if you've watched Trent Frederic in Boston, this contract just makes sense.
What kind of player is he in Boston?
I would say, and it's a lazy analogy just because
I like lazy.
it makes sense. But he's like a poor man's Milan Lucic. He's going to put the puck in the net, and he's going to be more offensive than Milan was, and he's not going to be necessarily as physical as Milan.
When did Milan fall off the cliff?
After
When we
his first
signed
year
him.
here.
All I'm saying, like,
27
so
years
in a
old.
guy like Frederic, if he can give me the Milan-esque type of game, I love it.
Yep.
However, we're not idiots. We do know that type of a player either body breaks down, mentally says, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm a 33-year-old man. I'm not 27 anymore. It hurts the body now.
At least
Like,
that's 6 years from now.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's 5-6 years. Like, I don't know. I don't really understand the 8. And then if you went 8, should that not knock his price tag down? If you were to sign him 4 years, what's your price tag?
Well, I think the problem is
It should be like 6 then,
the
right? 'Cause
cap
if you
is
give-
going up so much that you can't drop it down as crazily as you would have think. Like I think it'll probably come in at like 3.7 or something like that. Whatever. He's probably like a 4.3 player, I would think.
So if you were to sign
So
him
if
next
you-
year, 1 year, what do you think?
4.5.
4.5?
Which, if you can save $1 million,
Yeah.
I got this one player.
Well,
That's
yeah,
Corey Perry.
that's why I want to
Corey
kind of get
Perry.
a grasp of where he would be if you signed him for a year or two. Because if you sign him for 8, I'm hoping to get some of that AAV discount.
Yeah, I think he'll be a good player for the Oilers. I think eventually he'll just replace Adam Henrique as a third-line center, a guy that can, and he said in his press conference, I want to play center, I like playing on the right wing, but I can also play on the left wing.
Yeah, you said the good thing about me. I can,
Yeah. I think they'll teach him how to play a bit of penalty kill. Like, I just don't, it's obviously an awkward time, and I understand the frustration with it. We have not seen this guy at his best, to say the least.
Yeah.
But
You're also buying low on
you're
him.
buying low. He's a guy that has produced at 5-on-5 on really, really good Boston Bruins teams. When he was there, those 2 years that he did well.
No
those
power
teams
play.
were
In what kind of role was he? Was he like a third line? Was he
playing
getting
third
past the
line.
time?
He averaged 13 minutes 1 year, just 13:45 when he scored 18 goals and 40 points season.
This was his
Pretty
worst.
good.
This
Yeah,
was his
yeah.
worst year since 2022.
Yeah, and he's banged up. And
In
that's
23, he had 17 goals. In 24, he had 18 goals.
I think he is very motivated to play in Edmonton and have an impact.
The other thing too is how keen is Trent Frederic on being like, I'm in for 8 years if he doesn't think that Connor is also around.
I mean, yeah.
You do have Leon, but, You do
Where
have
I'll push
Leon.
back a little bit is I think if you go to Trent Frederic and go, how's 816, 24, $26 million guaranteed sound, he's probably like, I'll play in Siberia.
But if the shorter term deal is more money,
Yeah.
he would get more money doing a 2 or 3.
Yeah, I do think he got maybe a little bit of the hooked on winning thing here for sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Thinking out loud.
When do you think 2 gets signed?
Probably
July 1st.
early July, yeah.
Do you
I
have to,
think
wait till,
that
do you have to
would-
wait till July 1?
That will be before McDavid.
Do you think it waits till July 1? Mr. Evander Kane investigation last episode. 2 days later, Frank Saravalli's dropping it.
Oilers fighting everyone on the Golden Knights.
Yeah. Why? Do you think it goes till
Saying
July 1?
Nuge has a cast.
I don't know.
Why
I
don't you even
just-
go to these press conferences?
I hope not. I hope not. I don't see any reason why.
For podcast listeners, he's not like winking or anything.
Yeah, there's
so
no winking. I hope he doesn't wait that long. Like I don't see any reason why.
Depends how tough of a negotiation this is.
Like,
You got a note open? Let's do a little guessy guess.
Oh, we love this game.
we do
By
love to
the
play
way-
our guesses,
All
don't we?
right, I'll
Oh,
start.
we're
And you
into
know what?
the
I'll start
season.
deleting some of the ones from last
Liam's already
year.
got a guess written down on paper.
Stuart's going to save percentage.
Oh wait, yeah, we didn't calculate this.
Oh, okay.
I said 902. He finished 889.
I did not.
Okay, so Liam gets
So
the
you were
point
over.
for that one. This was the tiebreaker between Liam and Dan.
Tiebreak, I win.
The next one was total Oilers playoff games. Liam guessed 23. Dan guessed 24. They played 22.
Hey!
Both
And
over.
then the tiebreaker was McDavid point total. That one actually went. Liam nailed it, 33 on the nose.
Attaboy, Liam.
Liam is the guessing game champion for
Put me to
last
bed
year.
in
All
the
right.
playoffs.
We should get like a little thing guessing ONR guessing game champion.
I think I might order a belt.
Yeah, we should do so. Like, can it be something where we put the name on it? I feel like
Yeah,
Liam
I feel
deserves
like
his
we could
name.
order a belt.
I think-
Yeah.
They can't be that expensive for a custom belt.
Surely not.
I think I'll look into
All
it.
right, Bouchard contract.
We're already into the off-season mode. Let's go.
Bouchard contract.
Previous contract was.
Are we going date and
Let's do 3 metrics.
Okay.
Date, money, term.
Okay. I will say I'm just objectively jumping in first here.
All right, go ahead.
July 5th, July 8th, 8 years, 10.25 million.
There's Tyler's in. Who's next? Who's got their guess? July 8th for Tyler.
So his agent is Dave Gagne.
Well, that changes my answer. What are you talking
why
Also,
did you say that beforehand?
because he is also the agent of Aaron Ekblad.
Right?
So how does that
Oh, I feel
play
right
into things a little bit? I will say Evan Bouchard. Who was the first guess, sorry? Dan?
I said July 8th.
It's the only one.
August 2nd. 9-8.
8 years,
Sub 10, hey?
Yeah.
9.8
Gives a
M.
discount, Evan.
Okay, who's next?
I'll say July 14th, and I'll say 8 by 9.75.
9.75. Okay, Rick or BM?
I'll go.
Darnell's 9.25, right?
Yeah.
I will go. I'm going to go July 15th, 8 by 10.5.
Okay, Rick?
Rick's thinking, I could see it on his face.
I
He's
gotta,
really
like, you know
dialing
what?
in.
I feel like
He's got the calendar open.
I feel like you want to know this going into July 1, so I'm going to go with June 29th, 8 times 10.
What
I think you want to know what you've got them in there. You've got it.
Price is Right rules.
Also, when can you start offering RFA sheets?
July 1?
July 1.
Yeah, and I think they probably want to avoid that too. Not terribly worried about it, but let's just erase it from possibility.
That would be a pricey.
What do you know, Rick?
I know absolutely nothing.
like,
Back to differ.
okay, let me just ask the question. I'm just asking. If an offer sheet comes in at the level that we're talking about, is that not 4 first-round picks?
Yes.
Anything north of 11.6 million, and remember that the total dollars get divided by 5 years if someone offers them an 8-year deal. So yeah, it's 4 first-round picks if someone does.
Is there any interest in taking 4 first-round picks?
No.
Yeah.
No, because
Lots
the only
of it.
team he's going to sign with is going to be a team that's good, and their first round picks are going to be like
But then-
See, and I
ours.
disagree. They don't have the cap space,
Then I
probably.
would just go directly to the New York Islanders and say his 4 first-round picks for Noah Dobson.
I would say here's 2, and then I got
Yeah, that's
Dobson
what I
and 2
mean.
first.
Just like flip it right
Yeah.
away.
But those other 2 draft picks are 3 years away at the very least.
Yeah, maybe.
Unless you're trading the last 2.
I'm trading all of them eventually.
Yeah. I mean, I hope he just signs, obviously, but
I think that's just what's going to happen.
yeah.
But
Someone's
after last
mad
summer,
enough.
you gotta.
But that's that too. Why I think you just get it done before July 1st. It should be a relatively easy contract to sign.
I actually
Not
don't.
super easy, but relatively easy.
I don't think you have to ask the question because
Ask what question?
will someone offer sheet him?
Oh, well, I just want to get it, like erase it from possibility.
I just think that Holloway and Broberg was such a different situation because their caps were affordable. Like an $11 million player, for example, isn't something any team.
Who has our second round draft pick?
Oh, let's think about this.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't look.
Isn't it Arizona?
Cassian cap dump.
So
We got to get it back from Utah.
yeah, can we get her and then
No, but the
RFA
offer sheets would be next year's picks, which we have.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, we have our second and third rounders, so we can offer sheet in that range.
If Holloway ended up available, I'd still throw him one.
He is under contract.
He's RFA though, isn't he?
No.
It's
It was a 2-year deal.
Is
yeah,
there
that's
any-
right. That's fine.
Are there any RFAs that the Oilers are linked to right now? or-
Joel Hofer via me,
Nice.
but
I am.
that's about it.
Got it.
I like Will Cully in New York, but he'll be expensive.
Yeah, that kid
Velotti
just,
would be great.
Who?
Gabe.
With Gabriel Velotti.
Couple more things as we're working through. Corey Perry did state he wants to come back. Preference to be in Edmonton. Thoughts?
Yes.
For
$1 million bucks?
$1 million bucks.
$950K, $1 million. Sure, I'm in. Let's do it.
Yep, me too.
100%.
Would you give him a 2-year deal if
Nope.
he was
No.
like,
Yes.
no, hear
Only
me out.
only because
Hear me out. If
yeah.
he was like, I want $2 million for 1 year, and we'll be like, well, how about we give you a 2-year deal for $2 million bucks?
Then yes.
That's
and,
what I mean.
And Wink?
Sure.
Okay, sure.
well, no, because either going to retire at the end of the year. You can just straight up put him in the minors at the end of the year, or to start the next season. If that's what he wants, I do it in a second.
I would do that. If that's what the question was.
I don't think Corey Perry wants an extra $1 million that bad, though.
I would disagree.
I think Corey Perry just likes to be around the boys and likes the lifestyle he has right now.
I think Corey Perry likes money a little bit more than he wants to let on.
He also has, according to our friends at Puckpedia, a career earnings of $107 million US.
When is enough enough?
103.
Yeah.
A couple more things before we move on to the betting segment. Ask the Idiots and Hot and Cold Performers.
Holy moly.
Sam Bennett, Brad Marchand likely to stay in Florida per themselves.
I mean, they're all saying that right now. I think the tone changes when it gets closer to July 1, and Brad Marchand's got to decide on an extra $6 million or staying in Florida.
The other thing, Brad Marchand's Instagram story is pure chaos right now. Currently, as we're speaking, he
Don't
just
wanna know about
uploaded a picture of him wearing an Oilers sticker on his shirt that says "Losers." Haha.
I think he's kind of funny, so whatever.
I just think
As long as he's not saying about the Oilers, I agree with you.
Bradley.
But Jeff Jackson, Mr. Bowman, you need to be watching this, seeing this, and we cannot allow this type of thing to happen. There has to be some sort of punchback next year.
it'll be a very interesting locker room in Italy.
That's a good point.
Yep. The other thing, just to mention quickly,
Connor's too nice to do anything.
Might not talk to him, though. I don't know.
that's the only thing is I wish Connor just had a little bit more Kobe in him,
Yeah.
where this would be like, or MJ, you know what I mean? Where like this is something that he'll never forget ever, and he will burn you until the rest of your life.
Nothing would make me happier.
The other thing I just want to mention, Jonathan Taves is going to be making his return to the National Hockey League, signing with his hometown Winnipeg Jets.
Is that official?
Yes,
the love
that
of
came
the
out this
game,
morning.
Yep.
and not $5 million.
The contract, though.
$5 million?
The contract, though, let me walk through this. The base is $2 million, and it can be up to $5 million if he hits his bonuses. Now,
What are the bonuses? They're going to be easy bonuses.
here's where the bonuses go.
They're easy.
$550,000 each if he hits 20 games, 30 games, 40 games, 50 games, 60 games played.
Hell yeah.
He will make $500,000 if the Jets make the playoffs and he plays at minimum 50 games. He will make $250,000 for each round, 1, 2, and 3, if he plays 50% of the games, and $1 million if the Jets win the Stanley Cup.
I really think that that's how every contract should be structured in the NHL. I love
It
that.
is.
Yeah, but that's a guy who was out of the NHL, trying to come back, dip his toe in, hope for one last. When you're 24, you're not signing that type of thing.
Winnipeg.
You're
loves
also
it.
not allowed to.
Oh, is that a age? Not to like
35
37?
plus. You got to be 35 plus.
So the bonuses on this are just They're wild.
Yeah, if they win the Stanley Cup and he plays in 50% of the games, he'll be a $7.25 million player for them, which you're not complaining about because you win the Cup. But if basically the simplest way to look at it, $2 million base, if he plays 60 regular season games and they make the playoffs, they owe him $5.25 million.
Now, let's just... They're not going to win the Cup next year. That's obvious. What would
They might in January.
would it carry over to the next year that they lose out on?
So that's the tricky part. So the $2 million is going to be on the books for next year. Whatever the bonuses hit is the year after.
Unless they have space to, unless they leave that money open.
Which they probably won't.
It's the Connor Brown.
Yeah, we did that with somebody or somebody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Last year, Jonathan Taves played was 2022-23. So he's missed 2 full seasons.
Blackhawks fans in shambles.
Good story.
Yes.
Great story.
Maybe.
Hope it works out for him. We'll see how it goes, though, obviously. He hasn't played in more than a minute. Time to get some betting talk in. The segment is presented by Bet365. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app, get in on the game, use the code NATION. Bet365 must be 19 years old or older. Please play responsibly. The futures are already out for next year, as they've been for the last handful of years. Oilers Stanley Cup favorites with the betting public. Currently, they are plus 700 to win the Cup. The Hurricanes are also plus 700 to win the Cup. I don't know why. Panther. What do you guys?
Are you serious?
Hurricanes, yep.
The Hurricanes.
Hurricanes.
Not Miami.
Plus 700.
Public.
What?
Did they
I
not
don't
learn
know.
with New Jersey Devils last year?
It's the public like in those numbers.
Well, the public are idiots.
The Panthers are plus 750, Avs plus 900, Stars plus 900, Vegas plus 1200,
That's insane,
Lightning
man.
plus 1600. Then the Devils come in at plus 1800. The next Pacific Division team is the Kings at plus 2000. Looking at the Rocket Richard, Leon Draisaitl favorited to win the Rocket Richard next year, plus 290. Matthews up plus 400. Pasternak at 650. Kaprizov 750. Next Oiler is McDavid at 1100. Then McKinnon, Nylander at plus 1200. And then Tage Thompson at 16. And Jack Hughes at plus 2200. Calder Trophy, the only Oiler available is Matthew Savoy, and he ranks way down there at plus 5,000.
Unless nobody is going to crack it for the record, but Sam O'Reilly, I suppose, would have a
He wasn't listed.
opportunity.
Matt Savoy's the rookie listed, yeah.
Yeah. But
So
I mean,
we
by the
only
time the season starts, it's not going to happen, but there is an outside chance Sam could make the team.
Yeah, I mean, like, even at plus 5,000, like, chucking $5 on there. Matt Savoy, he's probably going to get some time playing with skilled players. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can he shoot from the Ovi area?
Yeah,
You can?
he can shoot.
Like that dude, if I'm him, that's all I'm doing right now.
Practicing your shot, yeah.
Yeah.
Getting to the middle of the ice and shooting.
He will. He's a great player. He's been
We've got
very
3 guys who would
undervalued.
rather just dish the puck off.
I heard one podcast today call him a third liner at best, and I thought, damn, you've literally never seen him play, have you?
You realize that's the case with a lot of people when it comes to just talking about player.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like to judge prospects too hard on other teams, but I think the others are going to get
NHL players get the same thing though.
Yeah.
Like, this player is terrible. You don't watch him. He plays in
Well, I think
Columbus.
Ekblad is terrible, to be fair.
Well, I'm not using the word terrible, but
I will. And I won't use it lightly.
There you go. Little bet and talk. Looking ahead, we're going to get all over the map as the summer goes on with our bet and talk. How are the Jays doing? You got any bets on futures on the Jays?
They're on pace to win 88 games, and their over-under right now is 85. So they're 6-1 to win the division. I don't hate that either.
There you go. Segment presented by Bet365. Whatever your bet, never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app, get in the game, use the code NATION. Please be 19 years old or older and bet responsibly. It's time for Ask the Idiots, and I'm excited about this one because that means I'm allowed to tell you about the 2025 Oilers Nation Open. It's one of the greatest days of the summer around here. We're taking over Millwoods Golf Club on August 29th. That is the Friday leading into the long weekend, everybody. That is the ultimate green light if there ever was one. There is a 9 a.m. shotgun start. Ready for a full day of golf, chirps, prizes, all the usual shenanigans. We're also going to factor in, we were talking about it on Real Life yesterday, we're going to start spitballing our ideas for how we can raise some money for charity. Mm-hmm. You can enter a team. You can enter as a single. You want to play with a Mosaic team, which if you're just wanting to play, you just want to come out and spend the day with us, a Mosaic team could be for you. Those groups always end up having the greatest time. A lot of them just end up being a group the next year. So, August 29th, sign up for your team. My boy Travis Dakin yesterday signed up for his team of 4. We are already rolling on the Oilers Nation Open. Ask the idiots, fellas. Got 3 for you today. This one we've already covered, so we're going to go through it real quick. Dale asks, Liam, how worried are you about the Connor McDavid extension?
I'm not worried.
Rick?
Not worried.
Dan?
Not worried.
Tyler?
I'm not going to lose any sleep, that's for sure.
Just to be like somewhat different, I'm worried about it until it gets signed, just like I was with Leon, but ultimately it is what it is. Reversing the order. Tyler? I'm asking you to put on your Stan Bowman hat. There's Tyler putting on his hat. What are your top 2 priorities this summer?
Get skilled young forwards. Get a high floor goaltender partner for Stu Skinner. 1 and 2.
You've got your cap on.
High floor partner for Stu Skinner and get McDavid's Bouchard's contract done.
That's a good one.
Didn't mean that.
Rick, what do you got? 2 big priorities.
I'm going to repeat what the guys over here said and get like another Stu to roll with them that has a high hopefully ceiling. After that, you need some hungry forwards.
Liam, you got 2 priorities. What are they?
Top 6 forward and another goalie.
Mine are Connor McDavid and the goalie. Very boring question because we're all on the same page.
But we just heard Stan Bowman this morning basically say goalie, forward. So,
Yep.
You can't really argue against it.
And again, also the defensive group, they're all signed.
Yep.
Outside of Klingberg and, whatever. I'm also not worried about Bouchard getting signed because I just think it's going to get done.
Yep.
So to me, those are the priorities. Final question. Very important. Rick, I'm starting with you. Mm-hmm. This comes in from Tanya. What are you most looking forward to with your free evenings and weekends this summer?
Football.
The little foosball. Elks played last night, home opener. Did not go our way.
No,
They're back though.
Next game. Got him next game.
Yep.
Dan, what are you looking most forward to with your free evenings and weekends?
I'm going to take advantage of this elbows up movement that we've had this summer, and all the federal parks and museums are open. So I'm going to be enjoying all kinds of park time.
Tyler, what do you got?
Golf. Also getting married, but golf.
Tyler's very looking forward to getting golf and married. Liam, free evenings and weekends, what are you doing?
I like to bike a lot this summer, so I'll be riding my new bike.
Oh, I got rollerblades too. It's a Blade Boy summer.
I think I got to get rollerblades too.
Dude, they're so sick. It's all I think about is when I can rollerblade next and golf. If I could golf while I rollerbladed, oh my God.
Feels like the 90s all over again.
I just like the idea of putting my AirPods in, going cruising. Maybe I stop somewhere for a chilly one. Mm-hmm. My priorities for evenings and weekends is summer of Bag Milk again. I'm going to enjoy the city. I'm going to go out. I'm going to a Riverhawks game on Saturday. I'm going to go check out the Stingers. I'm going to go watch the Elks games. So I'm just going to go enjoy the weather, enjoy the summer, and enjoy being in a wonderful city. Plan on doing more, taking my dog down into the river valley this year. It's awesome walking around in the river, or near the river. He loves it, has a good time, chases shit. I enjoy walking my dog, Liam.
Me too.
Let's wrap up the podcast. Hot and cold performers. And this is presented to you by the Sheet Draft Special. Jeff Merrick and Pierre LeBrun will be doing a draft special on Friday, June 27th, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be covering the first round. We're going to have a live show. Jeff Merrick and Pierre LeBrun are going to be bringing down everything that
Pierre
goes.
Maguire.
What did I say?
LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron.
Pierre LeBron. Pierre Maguire.
I
Pierre
don't know,
Maguire.
Maybe LeBron is
Yeah, LeBron might be there.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Why not?
Can't say no.
He won't be there.
Cannot confirm he will not be there.
Pinball could show up.
It's true.
We'll
I'm
see.
still waiting for Pinball to return my emails.
Yeah, nothing from the old pin.
He's busy.
Pierre Maguire. Not Pierre LeBrun. I don't know why I got Pierre LeBrun in my head. It's Pierre Maguire. The Sheet Draft Special. Hot cold performers. We start off with our veggies as we always do. Tyler, you're up first. Your cold perform of the week.
Very, very simple one. Just all the other fan bases who were weirdly obsessed with the Panthers winning. Your team sucks. Canucks fans, Flames fans, Leafs fans, Jets fans.
The rest of them.
Maybe not Habs fans because they have a final. Sens fans. you would all trade anything you've experienced with your favorite team over the last 15 years for one spring as cool as either of the ones we've had the last 2 springs. So you're my cool performer.
Dan, you're up. Cold performer of the week.
Mine's going to go to 2 people. One for Mr. Drake and then the other for Mr. Oh my gosh, I just dropped his name.
Jagmeet Singh?
Yeah, Jagmeet Singh. For Jagmeet attending a Kendrick concert.
Can't do that.
To which Champagne Poppy caught wind of that and sent him a DM calling him a goof. To which then Jagmeet posted on his story that he actually didn't go to the Kendrick concert. He went to see SZA ahead of who was the opener for Kendrick, and that he should support Canadians only and he shouldn't have gone to the concert at all. That might be one of the softest exchanges I've ever heard in my life. And I'm not even a person that cares about like social media beef or anything, but Drake and Jagmeet Singh, you both get my cold performer of the week.
What the hell is going on?
It's a pillow fight.
It was so bad. So bad. Like, you can go to whatever concert you want. Enough.
You know what? I like Drake. I'm going to a Kendrick
I'd
concert.
go to a Kendrick show for sure.
It has no...
Yeah.
Rick, cold for the week.
One last time for that. The season's over now, but it's those guys in stripes and the refs and the officials from the bat. Like there was there. The officiating was terrible. The linesman got to learn how to drop a puck and handle a faceoff properly. Didn't really have a lasting result on the series. It's not why we lost, but they're just frustrating things to see by a league that's supposed to be one of the top in the world. Your officials are terrible.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
Stephen A's mad. Liam, cold performer of the
Because
week.
someone turned off his. Not
Him and LeBron are
what was it?
beefing.
No, what is
Solitaire?
he's playing solitaire during the game.
My cold performer of the week
What an old man game to be playing too during the game.
is
Solitaire.
what's it called? Sportsnet 590, the fan show with Nick Kyprios, Justin Braun, and Sam McKee. Mostly Kyprios, who said the Oilers could never win a Stanley Cup with Evan Bouchard because he's just not good enough.
The guy's an idiot. The only reason he has a cup is because of Messier.
Are you
Man,
thrilled?
Healy.
I'm not.
You're just tag-alongs.
I'm just gonna go blanket social media. It's annoying. Other fan bases, they do what they do, and I actually understand it from the other fan bases. But like some Oilers fans who say they're Oilers fans, and they were just waiting for them to say how right they are, and they're almost waiting for the team to lose just to be like, told you.
Told you so.
That bothers me, and cold performer.
Are you thrilled? I'm not.
All right, reverse the order. Liam, you're up first. Let's end off with some positives. What is your hot performer of the week?
Performer of the week. I'm almost done season 27 of The Voice, and it's been a fantastic season so far.
It takes you like 3.5 weeks to watch Lilo and Stitch.
It's still not finished, by the way.
Okay.
Get into that eventually.
And yet you can somehow get through 27 seasons?
No. I've only ever watched one season. This is the only season.
Oh, I see. You're just getting to... All right, fair enough.
But it's just been a great season. I don't know. I know it's over.
There's nothing
I don't
to
know who
compare it to.
wins. I've managed to dodge the spoilers.
Yeah, it's a round of applause for me. Rick, you're up. Hot performer of the week.
Things didn't end the way we wanted it to, but we'll give it just to the team for everything they've done for the whole season and the playoffs.
Feeling hot, hot, hot. Feeling hot, hot, hot.
As much as like it sucks to lose, and of course it does, like there's one winner, there's 31 losers. I had so much fucking fun.
Wouldn't trade it for the world.
It's the best.
Would maybe trade it for an actual stand. No, I wouldn't, because I'd want to experience it with the people.
It's so much fun doing the playoffs, and like the city's buzzing, and I love it. Anyway, Dan, you're up. Hot performer of the week.
Mine is going to kind of follow along those lines. It's going to go out to my 2 German friends, Melina and Philip. Melina and your mom and dad, who came and visited this year during the season. And then a big shout out to the Goat brothers, Dukes, Captain Felton, the Baker brothers, and Mainlander Tim, who were all at Game 5 there, Game 6, when we unfortunately had to say goodbye to this season. But just a huge shout out to fans from away that are a part of the Nation family and crew. it's not lost on us that, you know, we're able to be a part of the fun vibes here in this city, and you guys have to watch and kind of channel through our experience, some of that, but to be able to have those people come together with us is just phenomenal. So I'll give it a shout out to all the Nation crew that showed up throughout the season.
Tyler, hop from the week.
The Winnipeg Jets, in their announcement video for the Jonathan Toews signing,
you're in it.
used a clip of me. That's cool. Thanks, Jets.
Put some respect on my name.
Yeah.
I was just like, because I saw you do the Leo meme, and I'm like, wonder what that is. And then there you were.
I'm like the second one in.
Also, shout out to Charm Diamonds.
Yeah.
Get a little plug.
I sent that to our sales department. I was like, send that to Charm. Send it to Charm.
Hot performer of the week for me is not being sick anymore. If you want to know what I did, listen to Better Late Than Never or yesterday's Real Life. It was gross. Mm-hmm. Had snot coming out of my eyes, Tyler.
I've been there.
I was going to say that'll happen, but no, it won't.
It's a sinus infection. I did that.
Classic sinus infection.
That'll happen.
Yep. But I'm better now.
Junior high.
I'm hot cause I'm fly. You ain't cause you not.
All right, there we go. We're going to do a programming note. 2 episodes next week because we got the draft and then we got free agency coming up. And then we're back to the Friday episodes, the one a week after free agency starts. So that'll be going on through the summer. So prepare for that. And in the meantime, have a great weekend.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.